Okay, great. So to kick us off, do you want to tell us your names and talking about where you're currently living?
I'm Hattie Reed,
I'm Randy Reed.
and we live in Castle Rock, Colorado. It's it's more than a suburb. It's a town south of Denver, but
Okay.
very close to Denver. Takes, I don't know, 30 minutes to
It's
get.
considered a self-sustaining, freestanding community on the Front Range of Colorado. In other words, we have our own police department, we have our own fire department, we have our own water department. Uh, so we can stand on our own.
Yeah,
Great.
and we've lived here since 1987.
Oh, wow. What about your experience in Castle Rock made you want to do this interview with us?
Well, we love the town. It is considered a town. It was 7,000 people when we moved here. Now it's 78,000. But it's very hilly. It's very natural. What else?
Well, in 2006, Family Circle magazine selected
That's
Castle
right.
Rock as one of the top 10 towns in the United States to raise a family. So it's a very welcoming, friendly community
Yeah.
that is growing, which is good. But it's on the Front Range of Colorado, so you have very wonderful, beautiful views of the Front Range of Colorado.
We see the entire Rocky mountain range from our backyard. It's gorgeous.
Hmm.
The town has bike trails, walking trails, lots of parks. And then to be only 30 minutes from Denver, we can go to the Rockies games, the Bronco games, the Nuggets games. So we have the benefit of a large city, but we live in a small town.
Nice. What brought you to Castle Rock back in the 80s?
Well,
Schools.
schools brought us there. We were living in Littleton, Colorado, which is a direct suburb of Denver. And for us, it was just becoming a little too congested. Too many stoplights being put in. We moved to Castle Rock and they had one stoplight.
Yeah, one, but now you can't count them all. But
Wow. You are already talking about some things that you really like about Castle Rock. What do you think are like your absolute favorite things about it?
well, I would say the proximity where our house is, we back up to beautiful woods and pine trees. Every season is beautiful. It snows, of course, a lot. We can even have, last year we had snow on Memorial Weekend, but it's beautiful. And I would say it's the views and the climate.
I would agree. The climate is it's a very wonderful year-round climate.
Mhm.
You do have all four seasons.
Yeah.
In our past backgrounds, the summer's a little shorter than we're used to, and the spring's a little shorter. Winter's a little bit longer, but everybody enjoys the snow, and it does make for a beautiful winter time here. And you pretty much always get a white Christmas.
You do. Oh, and you can be skiing in Powder an hour and a half from here in the winter. So it's gorgeous.
Hmm. Wow.
I always felt like we lived on a vacation because an hour away, you're in the mountains in a mountain town, and everything is a whole different personality. It's wonderful.
Hmm. Nice.
What else?
On the flip side of all that, are there some things that you wish were different or maybe you wish you could change about Castle Rock?
Traffic has increased. Hmm. I always say, who are you people and where'd you come from?
Well, yeah, that is when we first moved here. First off, I think there was maybe only four restaurants in town. If you went out for dinner, you probably knew 85–90% of the people that were in the restaurant. Now I would say we go out to eat, we don't know 98% of the people in a restaurant. So, but the only thing I would change would be the central part of the town. There's a lot of development going on in there, mostly residential. But that central part of the town, the infrastructure can't be expanded to accommodate the density. And I always felt when I was involved with the town government that the higher density areas should be on the outlying areas where we could build a responsible infrastructure to handle the traffic that comes along with that. So, but that's something that really can't be changed, but hopefully it can be monitored better and handled, and that will continue to grow, which is a positive thing. We grew up in Oklahoma, and I saw many towns there that weren't growing, and they kind of die. So along with that, the growth here brings a lot of recreational opportunities, business opportunities. We have 2 rec centers here in the town. We have 2 golf courses in town. The town owns one of the golf courses, multiple swimming pools, public and private. So it's just a well-rounded community.
We have a zip line. People come from all around to zip line between these plateaus at one of the parks. In the fall, we have a large art fest. We also have a very strong arts community here. It's called Crack. And the artists paint murals around the town, and we have a lot of pop-up art exhibits at restaurants. And then in the fall, what is it? The weekend before Thanksgiving?
Yes.
We have what they call the star lighting, because there actually is a rock on top of a plateau. That's how the town gets its name, Castle Rock. And the community gathers around. There's carolers, there's sleigh rides, and we all do a big countdown, and they light this big star on top of the rock, and fireworks go off. It's quite a festival, but it's wonderful.
And of course, at starlighting, before they light the star, the firemen have a chili supper, which is attended by many, many people. But to expand on that, back in the volcanic area times in the world here, there was an explosion down in the Four Corners area. That's Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. And out of that explosion, a huge rock traveled several hundred miles and landed here in Castle Rock. And so I'm glad you touched on that, because we should explain the name of Castle Rock. Is because the Castle Rock the rock does give the appearance of a castle sitting on top of a mountain. And back before World War II, a star was put up on top of that rock, and it has lights on it. And we light it up from say mid-November until about the middle of January every year.
No, it's the end of January, because the beginning of January, Denver hosts the stock show, which is cattlemen, horse.
It's the National Western Stock Show.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And so the star stays lit until the stock show's over.
If the Broncos are making the Super Bowl, then they change the lights to red and blue for the Broncos colors. And it is important to note that during World War II, the star was not lit because of concern about enemy aircraft coming over the area.
Wow.
So it's just a bit of history to that. But people really like the Castle Rock. It represents a town. And the topography in this area, there's none other like it on the Front Range of Colorado. And we just thoroughly enjoy this town, and the friends and community comes together always to benefit the town in many different ways.
Yeah, very strong sense of community. So the proximity of Castle Rock is it's on I-25 interstate, and it's Colorado Springs is to the south of us, and Denver is to the north. So it's easy to get to either one.
Nice. That's a lot of good information. Thank you so much. That was really interesting. If someone were to come spend the day with you two, or maybe a couple of days, are there any like local attractions that you would say they have to go see that you would take them to?
Well, if they're outdoorsy and want to zip line, I'd take them to the zip line. Or if they just want to walk or bike, I like biking. There's a lot of biking trails. Let's see, would we take them to the little museum maybe?
There is an old railroad depot has been converted into the Castle Rock Historical Society and Museum. And actually, people used to live in it at a certain point in time, but now it's the offices for the Historical Society and the museum. A lot of, lack of a better word to say it, a lot of antiques, things
Relics.
that represent the town. We have quite a few number of breweries.
Breweries,
So
lots of beer breweries.
People wanted to do that.
And it's good beer. It's really good beer. In fact, beer is one of the main industries for Colorado.
Right. And since we have talked about the rock, I think with that question of, well, if one wanted to, there's a trail that takes you up to the base of the rock. And then if you're feel challenging enough, you can climb on up to the top of the rock. It's not stairs, but you can go through the crevices and get on the top. And especially every weekend when you drive down the road toward the rock, you can see people standing on top of the rock enjoying the view. Possibly you could see to Kansas on a clear day.
Nice. Would you overall recommend that someone else move to Castle Rock?
No, not at all. In fact, we need many people to leave. I used to be the mayor of Castle Rock, and when I would meet people that had just recently moved here, I would always ask what brought them here. And there's a couple of communities around us that are similar in nature, but the one thing that they would almost always said, 98, 99% of the time, is they moved to Castle Rock for the small town atmosphere. And that's what brings people to this community as opposed to moving to other communities in this area.
Yeah.
And we hope not to lose that small town atmosphere.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, those were all of my questions for today. Thank you so much for talking to me. Did you have anything else you wanted to share before we sign off?
Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah, it's a very family-friendly oriented community. And seniors are welcome like ourselves. So thank you very much for your time.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you
Alex.
for your time. Thanks for trying again with me. Have a great rest of your day.